Can you live without love? I think you can. I know you can. I think love is a beautiful thing, but I think love is many times commercialized for the consumption of consumers to capitalize off your emotion. Fairy tales, Disney stories, Lifetime stories, movies, um, Valentine's Day, flowers, all these things are businesses that capitalize off the emotion of love. Because really, love is not many times this, well, it is a magical thing. I don't want to be cynical, but there's a lot of work. And it's not many times what it's portrayed to be. And many times we are sold the fact that you need love and you need to be loved all the time. Only for yourself, you really just got to take care of yourself. Because what I could tell you is some of the hardest times in my life were when I was in a relationship with someone else. They were the most emotionally demanding times in my life. Why? Because when someone else is high, you're low. When you're high, they're low, emotionally speaking. And trying to keep each other in sync, especially considering over time, all of us grow and change, and there's no exact science on how we're going to grow and change. So over time, we tend to drift apart. And also over time, when you're with someone or you do something nonstop, always, you just get tired of it. I often say, I used to love fried chicken. But I can tell you right now, if I eat fried chicken every day for 2 weeks straight, I get sick of it. And so would you. And so there's a lot of things in life that are very much going to not contribute to a relationship. Now, you should have hope and you should pursue a relationship if it's something you want. But what I'm here to tell you is you can live without it. And many times when you're in a relationship, it's going to be some of the hardest times in your life. So you say, okay, I'll get a pet. A pet will give me unconditional love. To some extent, yes, but to some extent, that's also an illusion. And that's also something you've been sold. Pet stores and pet products are $1 billion industry. Because we have domesticated many animals for the emotional needs of humanity, in many times just as a distraction from realizing there's parts of life that aren't perfect, and many times in life we have to do what we don't want to do. We have to take care of ourselves. Many times in life we rather take care of something else or someone else rather than ourselves. Because self-care is work. Going to the gym is work. Taking a shower is work. Doing something productive with your life is work. That's not fun. What's fun? Hey, look, going out for a date, a dinner date. Getting a dog toy for your dog. All those things are great. I've done those. So I don't want to begrudge you from experiencing life. But what I can tell you as a middle-aged man, you'll come to a certain season of your life where you say, you know what? I could definitely live without love. Because watching your pet get old, if you ever have to put your dog or your cat or whatever pet down, and eventually, usually, in most cases, you're going to outlive your pet. And you're also a full-time caretaker when you have a pet. You think you can't go on vacations now because you got a lot going on in your life. Wait till you have a pet. There's a lot of restrictions. You can't just do whatever you want. So that takes away from self-care. And the more pets you have, the more time goes to them and the less time goes to you. You have to pick up their dog dookie. Now, look, I enjoyed picking up my dog Dookie. But look, after a while, too, you got your own ass to wipe. That's the truth. Many people got Dookie-stained underwears, and they're sitting over there with a bag picking up their dog's Dookie. And their dog's got a cleaner butt than them. Why? Because they don't have enough time to take care of themselves. So look, guys, I very much think you can live without love. I think you have to experience love in your life, and I think there's different seasons of life. But I don't think there's anything wrong, cynical, bitter, saying that I'm thankful for relationships. I respect lovers. I respect the opposite sex. I don't have any negative feelings in my heart. I don't begrudge people that want to experience relationships, but you could also live without them. And again, and many times I think if you look in your life, that some of the hardest times in your life were in relationships, in love. Some of the hardest times in your life were taking care of pets, watching pets die. So after you get to a certain age and you've seen a certain amount of things, you've seen widows, people get sick with cancer, you got to take care of a loved one, you got to watch them die in front of you. I think after you see certain things in life, you say, you know what, there may be a season of my life where I could definitely live without love. I can love myself. And I think that's a good thing, guys. I think that's not sold to you. Why is that not sold to you? Because there's really no money in you not going on a date because you don't have to buy anything. There's really no money in you not taking care of a pet. Why? Because you don't have to buy any dog toys. You don't have to buy any dog beds. Really, there's no financial incentive many times for society for you to stay single and to love yourself without a pet, without anyone at some season. Why? You don't, in certain parts of America, definitely in America, you get tax credits. The government gives you incentives to get married, to have children. And so we drive people to love for a variety of reasons. And this is where I understand why society does it, because they want a certain amount of structure. They want a certain, because again, getting married, like buying a house, like having kids, what it does is it puts a demand on you to have to be stable, to have to work, to have to stay in a certain area. And basically we say, all right, this person's accounted for because they're going to spend most of their life doing this. They're not going to be able to free flow. And that is, even though that does sound like the government's playing games, in one sense, it's actually understandable because one is the government didn't make decision for you to get into a relationship or have a pet. And then two is, like, most people don't do good with total freedom. They like it initially. They like being single initially. They like having all their time to themselves, and then they get bored. And then sometimes they get depressed, and then sometimes they get destructive with drinking alcohol or taking pills. And then before you know it, they're in a total spiral because they can't be by themselves. Because again, it all comes back to this. When you are living without love from others, whether it's a relationship or a pet, you have to love yourself. And that's the ultimate work of life, loving yourself, self-care. And loving yourself doesn't mean like, you just sit in your house and you masturbate all day, even though that's part of self-love. Self-love is you wake up, you go to the gym, you do productive things, you hygiene, you do laundry, you take care of yourself. You take care of the things in your life that you need to do to reposition your life. Whether it's to move to an environment that inspires you, whether it's to do the work of your life, use your creative talents and gifts, show up every day, be accountable to your plans and your dreams, whether it's making videos or selling products, whatever you want to do for you. And that's work. Self-care is work, okay? It sounds like, oh, self-care, yeah, do self, but it's work, and that's why many people don't show up. And that's why many people say, you know what, instead of self-care, I'm going to get a new puppy. Instead of self-care, I'm going to text this person. You're depending on someone else for your emotional needs. I often say, look, I'm not your emotional support system because I just don't want to be around it. Look, I have people in my life, like I even think of my mother. Other than my mother, I really don't have anyone in my life. I understand to a certain level she's like that. She's very much in need of something else. So I don't judge her because she's my mother. She's 70 years old. I accept her. But I also don't let her guilt trip me. Because there was a season of her life where we went through that. But she has given me grace to grow. And I've given her grace to grow. And, your mother's a different dynamic than friends and lovers. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Like, as an adult, you don't just sit in your mother's house letting her love you the rest of your life, okay? You have to go out there as a man or a woman and build your own life and love yourself, okay? And figure out your life for yourself, okay? Because there's nothing more depressing than a grown-up with their capabilities depending on the love of a parent, of a pet, of whatever, even though there was a season of my life where I did it, but at a certain point, you wake up and you go out there and you make your way, okay? You start loving yourself, taking care of yourself, okay? And gaining confidence. Because when you don't take care of yourself, no confidence. When you take care of yourself, life's not perfect, but it's better. Peace and love.